Hi everybody, this is Kim. I'm back again with SMILF, episode number 5. This video is going to be a little confusing. There's so many parts and there's so much stuff going on in this particular episode. Don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, and leave a comment at the bottom. Let's talk about episode number 5. Let's get to it. Part 1. Okay, this episode starts off, today is Father's Day, and Ralphie is at Bridget's house. You know, he wants to see Larry. Bridget says, no, I'm still mad. You baptized my son without me knowing. So she's still pissed about that. Ralphie comes with a balloon that says Happy Father's Day. So she's feeling like, you know, what, you gonna get his balloon to Larry so he could give to you for Father's Day? Really? So Ralph tell her, no, I got the balloon to give to Larry to give to you. So she basically say, no, you ain't seeing Larry. She go back in the house and shut the door. Larry is crying because he can't find his panda bear or stuffed animal, whatever. So Bridget is looking all over the house trying to find the panda bear. Roommate come in and say, your friend is having a nervous breakdown. And Alyssa comes in and say, Bridget, what are you doing? My father be here in an hour. And Bridget's like, you know, Larry really needs his stuffed animal. You know, he can't live without it. And she cannot find this panda. She's looking everywhere. Larry's crying, screaming. So now she's calling Tutu to see if if the panda is at Tutu's house. Of course it's not. And she's like, you know, I can't go without this panda. She steps on these tweezers and it comes to her. The last place Larry had the panda is at her boss house. So now she gotta hurry up and go over there before at least father gets there and go get the panda. So now she takes off running and she's coming out the house. She's in one of her characters again. Now she's running with red hair. And this little part is from the movie Run Lola Run. I don't know if anybody ever seen it. I've seen little bits and pieces of that movie. And actually the lady just run everywhere throughout the whole movie. That's all she's doing is running. So basically that's what Bridget is doing. She's doing the Run Lola Run. So now she make it to her boss house, which is, her name is Allie. She make it to Allie's house and Allie must think she's there to work because clearly Bridget is only there for the panda, but she tell her to help the little kid make sure he's not spelling stuff wrong. And now it's baking cupcakes and now she burnt the cupcakes. The whole house is smoky and now they're trying to get the alarm off. The fire alarm off, and it's going off. And so Bridget climbs up there. Bridget climbs up to help them cut it off, and Allie grab her basically by her butt. So Bridget just kind of looked back and, you know, so the lady was like, I'll be back. I just need a breather. Allie is reminding Bridget that she loaned her $500 a long time ago. You know, she's like, you remember when I loaned you $500? And she was like, oh yeah, you know, Bridget is like, oh yeah, I'll pay you back. And she was like, no, you know, I got a favor I need to ask you. And she was like, okay, you know, what? And she was like, well, you know, I was wondering if you would like to do a sleepover. And Bridget was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you want me to sleep over with the kids? And she was like, no, you know, not that kind of sleepover. I was meaning with Mr. Dad and me. And she's like, so Bridget is like, a sleepover? A sleepover? And she was like smiling. Yeah, you know, a sleepover. You know, like the one when we touch each other's genitals. So Bridget is like, well, it's kind of awkward. You know, what if I get pregnant? You know, will I be on the trust fund? And she keep asking her all these bizarre questions and stuff. And so now Allie is like, you know, you're taking the fun out of it. Her boss is like, you know, I really just wish you'd just say yes. And she was like, well, I don't know if that's how I want to spend my Father's Day. So that was basically the end of that whole conversation. Tutu and Ralphie is at Bridget's house, and they want to pick up Larry. So Ralph gets out the car with the panda bear. He's getting ready to hand it, and Bridget is like, no, you can't, you can't convince me with a panda. And he's actually standing in the street. And next thing you know, he just kind of hold his hands out like, you can't be mad at me forever. Then a car comes and hit him. They kind of rewind it back to like the beginning of the episode. Part 2. Ralph comes to the door saying Happy Father's Day, coming with the balloons. She goes back in the house. She's looking for Panda. Now this time, instead of her stepping on the tweezers, she steps on a slice of pizza. And she remember her and Elise was in her room, laying in the bed, watching TV, eating pizza. So that's where Panda's supposed to be. So now she's finna go in the room. For some reason, Elise don't want Bridget to go in her room. I don't know why, but she eventually gets in there and they start arguing. Elisa talking about her father's gonna be there, and she don't want her father to notice that she's gained weight. So her sister, I guess this is her sister, because she said, well, Dad is here, why aren't you stressed? And she was like, well, I'm on mushrooms, so, and Bridget is like, magic mushrooms? Uh-oh. Now this girl telling her, you could take the mushrooms, you'll be cool, you might find Panda. She wants some of them mushrooms, and so now they finna take these mushrooms. They're gonna be high as hell. I bet you they're gonna be high as hell on these mushrooms. And now she's looking at Larry, and he's actually holding a conversation with her because she's so high. She just, is in her head. And Elisa is thinking she at a fashion show or something. She got this big ass coat. Elisa's father is there now. Her father is talking about, how being overweight is bad for black women, and and he's just kind of talking to her. Elise start eating the chips, and next thing you know, her father says, let me get one of these. And he pulled the bowl over closer to him, but because she's high, she's looking at it like the table is super long, and he pulled it all the way down to the other end. So she's reaching and like, let me get a chip, let me get a chip. So then she says, you know what, forget this. She take off all her clothes, throw the stuff at her father, and just start acting crazy, dancing in her underwear and bra, and her father is like, what is going on? Now, after they did all that dancing and stuff, somebody knocked on the door. It's Tutu. Tutu walks up with the panda. And Bridget basically is still high and tell her, Mom, we need to live our own life. We don't need you anymore. I wish you the best of luck and this and that. And so Tutu is like, you know what, Bridget, on this day, I'm getting this shit on this day. So she was like, okay, you know what? That's the end. You done drew the line. Walks down the steps, and she was like, I could stand out here and I could get hit by a car or something. Car hit her. Part 3. They rewind it back to the beginning. Now Ralph, they do that whole little scene again. Ralph knocks on the door with balloon, but this time they're talking in Spanish. Instead of Bridget stepping on a slice of pizza or the end of the pizza, she steps on a bottle of vitamins. And then she says, Nelson. So now she's at Nelson's house reading some vitamins that she got from Japan. So now Bridget is at Nelson's house, and Ralph is there, and they fussing and stuff, and good old Nelson, just scream, hey, saying she took some kind of mediator's class, and she's gonna calm things down. So Nelson gets them to do the whole speak from their feelings, I'm hurt when you do this, he said he feel like when she makes all the decisions, it means he feels like he means nothing, and she feel like every time she give him responsibility, he messes up. Bridget auntie calls her and tell her, come to the cemetery because Tutu is acting a damn fool. So Bridget do her Lola run, you know, and she make it to the cemetery. She tell Tutu, come on, let's go. Tutu is mad because Bridget messed up the Father's Day for mothers, you know, and she said, you know, this is a family tradition. I created this, you know, so you wouldn't feel bad. And Bridget is saying, no, you created this so you wouldn't feel bad, you know. And she was like, well, you don't know how hard it was being a single mother. And she was like, I am a single mother. So Tutu tell her, you got me. My mother did nothing for me. And, you know, she was like, then the auntie chimes in and say, well, yeah, you know, and dad was in jail for rape. You know, so then Bridget says, what? You mean to tell me you named me after a rapist? So then the auntie chimes in and said, well, you should have named her after our mother. You know, Mary, that's a good name. And she was like, well, let me show you what I think about Mary, our mother. Why did she pull her pants down and pee on the headstone? Then the sister turned around and do the same thing. Oh my God. Oh my God, I can't believe they...
No, and Larry, he'll be doing it too.
Can't believe they peed on these headstones. They ain't gonna say, well, I had to go anyway. Oh my God. Tutu tell her, you know, this is how it goes. You know, when I'm gone, you gonna piss on my grave, you know, and when you gone, Larry's gonna piss on your grave. And she says, no, Mom, I'm not. You know, I forgive you. And she keeps saying it over and over and over. After she says she forgive her 1,000,000 times, and she was like, Mom, yes, I forgive you, you know, and she backs up and walk into the street. She get hit. Part 4. Ralph comes to the door. Bridget answers the door, holding Larry, and they just speak. They don't fuss. They just on good terms. And she says, you ready to go to Tutu's? And he says, yes. So they leave. Now they at Tutu's, and Tutu and Ralphie is in the kitchen cooking, and Larry and Bridget is on the floor playing with toys. And now they all sitting at the table, and next thing you know, Joe says, look what I found. And it's the panda. And they says, well, you know, where did you find it? He talking about, I've been sitting on it. Bridget walks to the window and look out the window, and she sees the car, which was a hearse that's been hitting them the whole episode. She see the hearse just drive past. And that's how the episode ends. Don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up the video, leave a comment at the bottom, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.